Hi, this is Carlos Heredia from YourGreatBusiness.com, and in this video we're going to talk about a very important way that many new or startup companies raise money for their initial operations and for the growth phase of their company. We like to refer to this as the bank of family and friends, the real BFF for your startup company. So after using personal savings, many entrepreneurs like you will turn to their friends and family to get money to fund their companies, to fund operations. And if you look at and think about how many companies actually get money from friends and family, it collectively is a huge amount of capital that businesses and companies access for their operations. So it happens a lot, and there actually is a lot of money that's being invested in companies from family and friends. So it's an important source of capital that you need to take into consideration. So even if you have plans to raise money from angel investors or from venture capitalists down the road, chances are you're going to need to step through this initial friends and family stage to get that seed capital to continue your company, continue your business. So it's important to know how to do it right and some of the good and not so good aspects of a friends and family round. And friends and family investments can be tricky. It's tricky because, as with all startup investments, there's a large amount of risk that the business will fail or that the investment will not work out. But overlaid on this risky startup investment is the fact that you're mixing business and pleasure. So if you don't do it right and you don't communicate properly or you don't document the financing, you could really jeopardize some important personal relationships that you have with friends and family members. And if things turn south and the relationship goes sour as a result of a business investment, that friends and family financing can really damage some important personal relationships, which could affect those relationships for a very long time. So in this video, I'm going to talk about some of the good reasons for going down the friends and family financing path, some of the things that aren't so good that you need to be careful about, and then I'm going to give some practical tips and suggestions as to how you should step through the friends and family financing to do it right. So here are the pros about doing a friends and family financing. Here are some of the good reasons why you should consider it. First is availability. Think about trying to raise investment from people that you don't know. They may not call you back or respond to your emails or give you a meeting so that you can pitch your investment. But with friends and family, it's different. They know you, and they may be excited about this next step that you're taking in terms of starting a new business, and hopefully will be inclined to want to help you be successful. So they will return your phone calls or pick up the phone or respond to your emails or give you a meeting and where you can sit down and tell them about your new company and what you're trying to achieve. So the first good reason, or the pro of friends and family financing, is that they're available and they'll listen, and you may have a greater likelihood of getting money from them because they know you and they're available to invest. The second good reason for a friends and family investment is that your friends and family may be more willing to give you flexible and favorable terms. So there may be less negotiation in terms of ironing out the details of the financing. They may have lower expectations about the level of returns that they're seeking for their investment, and they may understand or maybe more empathetic about your personal situation. So they may be willing to give you more flexible terms to help out with cash flow and timing of payment and that type of thing. And the third thing that I'd like to mention is just speed to money. As I mentioned, there may be less negotiation with friends and family. They know you, they know your character, so there's less of a need for them to have to conduct due diligence about you and your business. There may be less negotiation, so there's not going to be a lot of back and forth on terms, and you can maybe get to yes more quickly. So with a friends and family round, you may get better terms and you may get your money more quickly so that you can move your company forward. So here are some of the cons or the not so good reasons to do a friends and family financing. So the first one is relationships. As I mentioned previously, with a friends and family financing, you're mixing the personal and business sides of your life, and there is a risk that you could really damage important personal relationships that could continue for a number of years after the business deal. So if you don't communicate properly and let them know sufficient information about the investment, things turn south, there could be a lot of bad feelings about the investment. The second thing to consider is pressure. So when you take money from people that you don't know, you certainly want the business to succeed, and you want to make sure that they get a return on their investment. It's a whole different ballgame when you're talking about friends and family. These are people that are in your lives that you see, every day potentially, or during the holidays. But they're a part of your important personal life, and so you may, as the entrepreneur, as the business owner, may experience more pressure to really perform and give them sufficient return on their investment. So keep in mind that you may be assuming more pressure by taking on money from friends and family. The next thing I'd like to mention in terms of a kind of a difficult aspect of friends and family financing is there's a tension here when you're negotiating with friends and family, because on one side you want to be fair to your friends and family, and if you're not fair to them, who are you going to be fair to? So you absolutely need to be fair to friends and family when they're putting money in your company. But there's part of you also that wants to strike the best deal for your company. So that's a tension that you'll have to find the right balance for, in terms of being fair and giving them the proper deal, but also trying to do what's best for your company. So that's something that you'll need to wrestle with. The next thing is unrealistic expectations. So if you take money from friends and family, there will be certain times that they may want to get their money back sooner, or they may have unrealistic expectations about how much money they should get back, what their return on investment will be, and they might be in your face a little bit more because they're maybe a good friend or a family member. So again, that those unrealistic expectations also can add to that pressure that we talked about. And the last thing, in terms of a kind of not so good aspect of friends and family financing, is your friend or family member may want to get involved in the business, and because they have that personal relationship, they may believe that they can ask to get involved with the business and help you run it, and they may not be qualified or well suited to do that. So again, it's that mixing of business and personal aspects of your life where they may feel more empowered to come to you and ask for a job or a position in your company, which may not be the best thing for your company. So how do you do a friends and family financing in the right way? I have 5 important tips that you should consider and hopefully implement when you're doing that friends and family investment round. The first tip is expectations. It's very important that you sit down with the potential friends and family investors and give them the full story. Give them the upside potential of your company and how the investment will help, but also talk about the downsides and the risks of investing in the company and some of the things that are keeping you up at night that you need to share with these potential investors. So you need to give them the full story so that they have proper expectations before they give your company money. The second tip is related to expectations. It's communication. And so again, you need to give them the full picture. You need to communicate clearly with them. You need to almost treat them as if they were strangers and give them the good, the bad, the ugly. If you have a business plan, you should make that available to them, but give them sufficient information and communicate with them enough so that they understand what they're getting into and what's happening. And that communication also should continue after the investment is in, so that they're kept apprised of what's going on and everybody's on the same page so that there are no surprises. The third tip, and this is something that oftentimes doesn't happen with friends and family investments, is you need to document the deal. So a back of the envelope, back of the napkin, a verbal promise is not enough. And again, this relates to this idea that you should treat the friends and family investors as if they're strangers. So really formally document the investment transaction. Again, try to use documents that you would use in a more formal investment transaction that really lay out the terms and set a clear picture of what the investment is, so that if there are misunderstandings or misaligned expectations in the future, you can go back to the documents and say, no, this is what we agreed to, and this is the structure, and this is the timing, and that will help keep everybody on the same page, so to speak. The fourth tip is to remember that you're selling securities. Okay, just because you're selling to your brother or your sister-in-law or your aunt or your friend from college, you're still selling securities. Your company is still selling securities to these investors. So you need to comply with the applicable laws and regulations. So get an attorney, get a mentor that's done this before, but do it the right way so that you don't run into legal problems with the sale of securities. Also related to that is you should only sell to what are called accredited investors, which are in general terms high net worth individuals that in theory have the financial means to protect themselves in making investments in private startup companies, and so they can afford the loss of the investment and keep going. It's not like you have a family member that's investing his or her entire personal savings in the company. So from both a securities law standpoint and also just a personal relationship standpoint, only take money from people that can afford to lose the entire investment. It will help you get through the securities laws more quickly, and again, you're not going to feel like you took advantage of a friend or family member when they lose all of their money by investing in your company. And the fifth tip is just do it right, and treat your friends and family right. So if you're going to do this type of investment, again, set expectations, communicate, document the deal, comply with the securities laws, do it the right way. Because this friends and family financing, as I mentioned at the beginning of this video, may lead to angel investment or to venture capital investment. Someday you may sell your company. And if you haven't done it right at this early friends and family stage, that could really make it more difficult to continue down your path and allow your company to take advantage of these additional financing or other transactions that may come down the road. So make sure you do it right and treat your friends and family right, because if you can't treat them right and do right by them, then chances are you're not going to do right by anyone. So treat them fairly, document the deal, and move ahead. So this is Carlos Sedella from YourGreatBusiness.com. Thank you for your time.